was the fate of Uber. In 2008, the economy crashed. I lost everything. The Starbucks next to me closed. I outlasted Starbucks, so a little claim to fame there. I did okay. But this is the entirety of what was left in Uberbot, stuck in a house that I eventually lost because I lost everything. I lost my business. So it was a really sad and depressing time going from having what was a very fun and successful local business that I was very proud of to not knowing what to do next. So what do I do when I'm stressed?
Bake.
So I started revisiting my chocolate chip cookie recipe that I must have started when I was 14 years old, and working through the different versions of it, trying to get it to where I always wanted it to be. There could only be crispy cookies, where I was. Everything was thin, crispy, basic. I wanted something thicker, I wanted something different. So I started working and working again until I got a little bit thicker, added a little bit more chips, and then eventually got a little crazy. So just the other day, Brian on my team decided to count how many chocolate chips are on this cookie. Any guesses?
200.
22? 42 is a little better, but there's 100 chocolate chips on average on a Gideon's cookie. We do it by hand. We're not crazy. We're not going 1, 2, 3, 1. But don't count them and tell me that I'm a liar. We're pretty close to that. So this was an interesting time because I was in need of money. I couldn't pay my bills, and the only thing that I could do was cookies. So I started selling cookies out of my house, and because I love community, I love branding, I started to get a little bit more serious about it. And I put together the first Gideon's Bakehouse logo, just to start to formulate in my brain like what it would be. What if I really had to open up a bakery? What would it look like? What would it feel like? And to me, as a branding brain, I love to start with a logo and work my way out. Started taking more serious photos. I do the photography for Gideon's myself. It's something that I just really enjoy doing, just like my hobby. Things started to come together, and I finally had to get a job somewhere, and I started working at Apple. So I was a trainer at Apple. I did all the hiring and training, and I started testing all of these potential cookie flavors on the staff at Apple. And what's really cool about the Apple people is they're very family-based within the Apple stores, and I will still get Apple people from other states that will come here and see me and tell me they're proud of me because they know that I tested all my flavors on the employees of the Apple store. The only negative to that is, I'm going to share a secret with you guys. I don't really like the cookies and cream cookie. But it was the most popular in the Apple store. So don't hate on me. I know it's favorites, everybody knows. But there's a science behind why I don't like it. It's too sweet for me. There's a lot of sugar in Oreo. And as a bakery owner, my strange confession is I'm not really into sugar. I like things to be more balanced. Gideon's desserts are rich, not sweet. If you want me to comment on something you post on Instagram, I shouldn't say this because people do it when I say this. If you comment, that looks like diabetes, I'm going to give you a 5-paragraph essay. And a little sugar using the cookies. But you know what an Oreo tastes like. Like that cookie was meant to taste like an Oreo milkshake and a cookie, and it does. But you know what an Oreo milkshake tastes like. I think every other Gideon's cookie is very unique to what we do. So no hating on cookies and cream lovers. Love what you love. There's no right or wrong. But I want to get rid of it. Oh, speaking of cookies, I want to get rid of it. Why do I have these in my slide? Frankenstein cookies. Started working on limited edition cookies. I used to walk around with a bag with cookies in them and sell them back alleys. It was really sketchy. I started working on cakes. So when I was a little kid, which was a long time ago, I'm so old. Red velvet cake was my jam. And red velvet cake was not popular back in the day. So I started to try to make a red velvet cake that I remember having when I was little. What red velvet cake turned into when it became popular is chocolate cake with red food coloring. But true red velvet is a southern buttermilk cake, so I'm very proud of what we have at the store today. It was actually the first cake I ever tried to create. Now we're starting to get a little bit more serious, and I'm talking to Mike Mr. Eyes. Which, by the way, Mr. Eyes is M. Reyes, it's his initials. I didn't realize that for like 15 years. I think it was like 2 weeks ago. I'm like, oh, Eureka! So I'm a design person, but I hate my own design work always, so I wanted to talk to Mike about what his thoughts were on how we can start to put things together a little different. And we did a hand-drawn one, then we started working on another logo together that started to piece it all together a little bit. Then things got to that next level. I got an Instagram, which is now 10 years ago today. And then I had to create the first Gideon's Bakehouse website with the help of my sweet little soul. 10 years ago. It's amazing it's that long ago. Believe it or not, I used to individually box the cookies, which was super dumb, because that's really, really, really expensive. But one of the first outings I did at Gideon's was at a Bakehouse, and I had Mike do an artist edition cookie, where he chose the flavor he wanted me to create, and then stamped a figure on it, and we were selling these in the Bakehouse. The cookie he chose was Snickerdoodle, which I think is super basic. So no Snickerdoodle. Peanut butter iced coffee. So out of all the things on the Gideon's menu, this is the thing I was the most nervous to put out there, because you coffee people are, whoa. And I'm gonna let you know a little secret. I never drank coffee in my life. But I creepily look in the hide usually in the bushes to see the face. That's really, really what matters to me. And I love storytelling, I love escapism. That's all built already here. It's already here. If I did Gideon's in a plaza with a nail salon next door, it would not have the same feel as it does being in a place that already has that sense of escapism. So I set my sights on Disney. I do not wholesale my cookies, but I did allow the Polite Pig to have my chocolate chip cookie as a secret menu item. I baked them, I packaged them, I delivered them, and on the very first day, the Disney food blog posted this photo and proclaimed it one of the best things to eat on Disney property. And things went crazy really, really fast. Show of hands, who got my chocolate chip cookie at the Polite Pig? Nice, nice. That was really hard because I didn't give them much. They sold out in like this. So eventually, I got in front of Disney, and when I say eventually, it was a 3-year process of conversation. That is like 2 hours of me talking. But I managed to convince them that a nobody like me had some ideas that I thought worked out well here. And I'm really lucky that there's so many people that work out here at Disney Springs that were in my line, that were excited about what was doing, that really shared that vision of experience. So, Gideon's Bakehouse Project Corinne is what it's called, started as we started working on it. And now it was time to get really, really, really serious. We had to bring our A game to Disney to show them what we had. So we brought them our very first layout of what Gideon's Bakehouse could be. The infamous Lego set. Patrick, this would be worth so much on eBay right now. My favorite is the little toilet, which is now a freezer. It's such a great opportunity to be able to design a space, an immersive space. And while Gideon's isn't big in square footage, I think it packs a really powerful punch. And the idea started to come together. Started to work on designs for the outside. I actually was in an MRI machine for 45 minutes one day, and the entirety of what Gideon's looks like was in my brain. It was just a matter of getting it out. Started working on those interior designs. I have to say that I'm a perfectionist, which is a very negative thing because you're never happy with anything in life. But Gideon's at Disney Springs is probably the first thing I've ever done that came out better in reality than it was in my brain. So we put out our very first The Wait Begins, also something that sells for kind of a large amount on eBay these days. And let the community know, I don't have time to read that to you, but it's a really cool little statement about just a thank you to the community for supporting us and caring about us. The wall went up, which was amazing. One of the most epic nights watching that wall go up. It was super hot. Oh my God, it was hot. The sign went up, I cried like a baby, which I do often. The secret ingredient in a Gideon's tears, or the secret ingredient in a Gideon's cookie are in fact my tears. Everybody knows that. That's why it's salty, that's right. The gargoyle is my baby. I'm not going to tell you how to pronounce the name. That's your journey. I was so excited to get like some really amazing photos of the gargoyle getting installed. We got out there at like 3 o'clock in the morning is when they said it was going up. We show up, we walk around the corner where the boathouse is at 2:45. He's already up on the building. I'm like, do it again. Here's us putting everything together. A little fun fact for the inside of the store. Because I'm a dum-dum, I wanted to open up for a soft opening for the week of Christmas. We got our occupational license on Friday, and we did all of this design work. All of the interior design happened in one weekend. Here's Mike putting art up on the wall, which he was drawing on little pieces of paper and running over to Kinko's to have them blow it up. Again, we're super high tech here at Gideon's Bakehouse. And then finally, it all went together. Day one was one of the craziest days. Was there anybody here on day one? That's right, you were. So where we are standing, that's hard to say, is where when I showed up, the line had stopped. And I believe I've got a video of what the line looked like on day one. Yep, that's where we are. Ready? Let's go. So for anybody that's ever messaged me and said that they don't want the virtual queue, they'd rather just wait in line, no, you're not. And there it is. That's kind of the brief history of how we got here in as short as I can say it. So sorry.
Thank you very much.